Good afternoon. Thank you for being patient. I appreciate everybody sitting through. And I'll try not to read too much from here, but I'm going to improv a little bit if you don't mind. For the first question, when I first got the email about being invited to do a QUAKE talk, I thought, how's a guy who had a 2.4 GPA get to talk to alumni and impressionable minds? And I came up with the answers to good looks and charm. And if you know me, you know totally you know me. And so I just came, I have to tell the truth. I'm going to show you who I am and what my experience was. And to a certain degree, I'm going to get naked, and not like serendipity naked. Just naked. As far as emotionally, because I usually don't talk about these things publicly. But I felt in order for this to have an impact, I needed to be who I am. And so my story begins in Queens, New York. New Yorker? All right. I was raised by my mom, period. Me and my brother. We didn't have a lot of money, but we had a lot of love. And that's what always stuck out for us. At 14, I had the opportunity to go to boarding school. I took that opportunity, graduated from there. The experience of actually being diversity was one that I wanted to change in college. So I actually got accepted to Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. And a week before graduation, I found out they gave me half a scholarship. So a week before graduation, I have no idea what I'm going to do next. Applied over the summer, applied to Guilford. They had the money to give me opportunity, I took it. That's the story. So I was a little kind of taken aback because I knew I was going to be in the same situation again. But I was going to try to be better. I thought I'd be more mature. And if you know, for men, it takes us a while to mature, especially an 18-year-old male. What do you want? But I did the best I could. I was a bit uncomfortable. I was in a new state. I was by myself. My mom. I've been used to living away, but that far away was a little different. But we got over it. So, what is a 18-year-old who's uncomfortable, doesn't know what to do? How do they make themselves comfortable?
Drink.
Oh, drinking and partying. So yes, that was what I did. And then when that doesn't work out, you run to the therapist, you talk, and then you go back and drink some more. But that was the first lesson I can say I learned from Guilford. That's not going to help you with the problems. You can do it, enjoy yourself, but it's not. You're still going to have the problem when you wake up. And so on top of being a borderline lush, I was already dealing with major depression, which I've been dealing with since age 11. Some days were better than others, but there were a lot of days when getting out of bed was a major task. I did it. I skimmed by academically by doing the bare minimum. And by fall of '96, I failed my first class in college. March of '97, I dropped out of school thinking I could walk away and get a great job. Not true at all. And I'm not saying a college degree guarantees you anything, but it does give you more options than not having. I worked as a server, and that is not my strong point. I cannot multitask. I can't remember who got a Coors Light and who got a Pepsi. I cannot do it. That wasn't me. But I had to. I had to do something. I couldn't just sit home. But then, in June, I was back in summer school, here at Guilford. So I learned that quickly. One of the most important things at Guilford that I have gotten are the relationships. The professors, the people. Of course, I met my wife and my 2 kids who were not paying attention to me whatsoever. And I knew that, but I'm giving them a pass on that. Of course, that was huge. That was huge, and I love being a father, by the way. Best job. Best job. Mother. Okay. But I have great friends who helped me develop as a person. And then there are certain professors that hold a special place. And Sylvia Treyes, I don't know if anybody remembers, she was a Spanish professor. She gave me a chance. She could have failed me. I had an 8:30 Spanish class, Spanish 1. I missed 7 classes from the first semester. I think, the limit was 3 or 4. Since I had done well and she saw potential, she did give me a passing grade. It wasn't a good passing grade, but she did give me a passing grade. So that allowed me to stay in. Ernest McCoy, who I met in August of 1995, incredible gentleman, if you know him at all. He's been a very, very positive influence in my life to this day. I very much value him. Doug Gilmer, I think, who they're honoring today, he was a living example of dedication and service. I mean, and any people know Doug, he's very straightforward, but he never compromised himself, his identity, and that was huge to see that. Yeah, he's a great guy. Great. Irene Harrington, who was the director of career development. Years ago, she retired. I don't know how many years ago, but it was a few years ago. She was also a person who taught me a little bit about job options and expanding my vision as far as what I could do, what you could do with your degrees, and learning your different options. And finally, there's Carolyn Beard Whitlow and Adrian Isbell, who one would always call me out. Adrian was my advisor when I was a history major. And Carolyn gave me my first full F on a paper I actually tried on. So, she said, and I remember the comments because she never wrote the F, but in red writing she said, your paper has bright spots, but the way it is formatted, I cannot give you a passing grade. Of course, that hurts your pride, but it also taught me, she raised the bar for me. And had no one raised the bar, I wouldn't have achieved it. So those were very important for students. Your professors are important. Are there any students here? How you doing? Professors are important. So in 1998, I got to study abroad, as you heard very verbosely about just now. In 98, I went to Ghana. And for Ghana, that was a huge program, not just being in an African country and so on and so forth, but it helped me reshape my perception of the world because I'd never been outside of the country. I'd never been outside New York, North Carolina, Massachusetts, none of that. So I had to get a passport for the first time, book plane tickets, so on and so forth. Well worth it. But during our time, there was a water shortage, electricity shortage, and a typhoid outbreak on the campus of University of Cape Coast in 98. So I thought I'd struggle being poor and in the hood. Totally redefined my definition of what it truly is to struggle. I mean, there was a time where you could not only watch TV for like 6 hours, maybe between 12 and 6, that was it. So even in my low points here, there was still more privilege just being in this country. So that was a big wake-up call. The meaning of the word passion was also redefined to me. And I came to Guilford as an education and psychology major. And at times, because of my personal history, I thought I could teach a psychology course without anything. And then I ran into research methods, and so that knocked me out of psychology. And then the failure to complete my required hours during my study abroad, when you study abroad as an education major, you're supposed to do an internship. Well, between the outbreak and the shortages and school being shut down and just me being difficult, didn't complete those hours. So I went from that to a history and African American studies major, which I graduated in. I never lost my love for children or my passion for teaching. But the main thing I learned is that you have to realize your dreams and follow your passion to be truly happy and honest. So, I'm going to be back in teaching on Monday, as you heard, and I'm very excited about that. But the epiphanies and advice I'd like to give. Guilford is also a great place to learn how to challenge authority for a particular belief. However, in the business and the corporate world that we want to change, they still have the ideology of power of position. So, and I can tell you from personal experience, you can approach your professors like an equal here while you're in school. However, don't curse out your boss. Don't challenge your boss. It can lead you into trouble, which is part of the reason I was a warranty analyst for 10 years. And backlash is very much alive. Maintaining a positive outlook. I'm not saying everything's going to be apple pie. It's not. That's not how life works. But keeping things in perspective and knowing that it can get better is huge. Read a couple of books, The Magic of Thinking Big, The Secret, really everything that we have was started as a thought, and that was the main theme through all those things. So if you can change the way you think, you can change your circumstances. Always keep learning, never stop. In fact, never stop learning. Keeps me young and fresh. And you never stop growing. I thought I had it figured out by 30. And then I'm 35, I'm like, why am I still learning this stuff? And so you never stop growing, you never stop developing. And I look forward to the journey. And that's it. Thank you for your time.